Right then, hello, let me just check the audio. Sorry about the delay there. Audio's not on properly, hold on. Get this sorted. Right, testing. Let me know what the audio is like, please, folks, before we get going. Apologies for the lateness. I was literally doing, as you know, all the hedgehogs need doing, and then the birds, and then I think I'm done, and then I'll find another feeder empty. I can't express to you how many feeders there are. There's about 12 feeders, bird feeders. So let me know if I'm loud enough, if I need to turn the gain up. Let me just do a little test so I can listen on my end. Hang on, Owl's here. Can I listen to yours? Is that okay? Testing?
If you go any louder, you're going to start clipping.
Okay.
Turn it down a smidge, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just try and put it a bit closer to
Just
me.
raise it off like a millimetre.
Okay. Is that okay then, yeah? Guys, can you hear me okay? Am I too loud? Too quiet? Fab. Hang on, Kay's coming. I'll just give you a spanner, Kay. Hold on, darling. Right, hang on. Just get into the live chat. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Right. Yeah, so basically, right, I was going to do, because I've not been live for quite a while. Welcome, everybody. What's all these little crowns in the chat? What is this about? It says here you can... What's this XP business? I don't understand this. But apparently you're all collecting points. I don't fucking understand it. Hi, Sharon, my love. How you doing, sweetheart? Right, so... I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and there's that new search going on, and apparently they found something that they're currently investigating. Whether it'll come to anything, I don't know. But first of all, is the audio okay? It's just let me know. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Hi, everyone. How we doing? Personally comment. And there's other things as well. You send a super chat, you get points as well. So they haven't explained it to creators at all. Julius is number one. Thank you, Texas. Right then, so thank you, Jules. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. Right, so I was going to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while because obviously I've been following it from day one. It's madness how it's been 18 years. I remember the day it happened. I'd only been in my job about a day. I'd started a new job, and I remember coming in, I think it was day 2 or 3, and this had happened, and it was all everyone was talking about. Who knew that 18 years on we'd be talking about this? So crisp audio. Is that a good crisp? So I was going to talk about this a while ago, but as they're doing the search, I thought it was the perfect time. I thought we'd do a quick catch-up stream because I've not really been around. Hi Cindy, hi Sharon, hi Nikki, hi Space Cat, hi Bobby, hi Rose, hi Nanny, Julius, Jules, welcome in everybody. I appreciate you all being here. Hi Loza. So now this search is going on, it's the perfect time. So we'll be doing a little catch up and then we're going to start looking into this. So do you guys want me to do this on this channel? Because I know I've said this to you before. This channel was originally for anything weird, like like paranormal or not just paranormal, but anything bizarre and strange. As I've moved away from any true crime or anything like that on Penny Bunny, I'm doing news and politics on my new channel. I'm going to do these sort of podcasts on here, and I just want to check, is that okay for you guys? A garden stream. Yeah, I will be back doing them soon. I've taken a bit of a break from YouTube. I've had a few things going on personally. The members are aware of what's been going on. If you're not a member, if you want to contact me privately, I'll let you know. Pure Plisco says no. Is that the real Plisco? No what? Right, hello Brum Vixen, how you doing? So I think that this sort of story is suitable for over here because it is so bizarre. Thank you, Candice. It is just so weird. So first of all, I just want to say, fuck off. Is that not even the real Plisco? Plisco, if that's you, you can't even spell your correctly. So if you don't like it, then do one. If it's the real Plisco or not. I ain't got fucking patience. Blade Runner, hello. So why are you being a dickhead then? Yeah, exactly, Rose. It's a deep dive, isn't it? Does it really matter what we deep dive in? Anyway, this is a very curious case. So, I've always said that the parents, always, hi Bridget, hi Devon, I've always said that there's something about them. And I don't know how you guys feel. And at one point, just fuck off. Getting on my tits now. Hi Blade Runner, how you doing? It's not even the right channel for that. Stop being a dickhead. Right, I'm going to put you in timeout till tomorrow. I can't be arsed with you. You're not normally like this, so maybe it's not you. Hi Tone, hi Nanny. Thank you, hi Bobby. Thank you to our subscribers. I get on with Plisco, but he's being a dickhead, so he can come back another day. I ain't got the patience for that tonight. We're doing a serious topic. So, hi Bridget, love. I've always said from day one about the parents. Now, they were suing people, if you remember. They were suing the police, the newspapers, blah, blah, blah. And people couldn't even talk about it because people were scared to. Now, I'm sorry, but I've never strayed away from what I've said from day one. I genuinely feel that the parents either knew, hi Jane, or involved. Okay, hi Hawkeye. So either it was an accident. It was an accident. Or, yeah, the guy, it's been proven that it's not that guy, you know. You know, it's just a baddie for the media. It's not him at all. It's been proven that many times. I know Sonia Poulton, I used to like her, and then a few years ago, she made some really stupid mistakes. And I unsubbed and stopped watching her. I was late anyway, Susabelle. Hi, darling. Hi, Jason. I've got issues with some of her decisions that she made many years ago, supporting Sean Atwood when all that shit was going on with that Callie Diamond, and it was really, really sick. And I stopped subscribing to her and I stopped watching her. But she has done some really good work on this case, I will say that. Yeah, I just went off her, but what I seen was just really bizarre. Hi Lily. And I think if anybody would have been around then and they'd seen this, they would have understood where I was coming from. But she has done some really good work on this case, and if you watch her channel, she explains how it can't be this German guy, but she's done a lot more work than me, so I'll leave that to her why I don't think it's him. Okay, and apparently it can't be him. Now, going on to the parents, with me, there's a couple of things that could have happened. I don't know whether you guys will agree. It's either one, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Devon. It's either, yeah, the evidence. We'll look into that in a moment. It's either one, it was an accident, okay, or two, it was done on purpose. I do believe they're involved. Yeah, there you go, Bobby. Bobby knows. The German guy should not, he's a wrong un, Rose, and I think he's done some sick stuff, and apparently he's a convicted pedo. But I don't think he's responsible for this. I'm more and more swaying that it wasn't an accident, because if it was an accident, why would you go for all the money? You wouldn't go for the money. If it was an accident, you would you'd be like keeping it on the D-low. The arrogance and the narcissism of the parents tell me that there is more to this. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to watch obviously we're going to get an update, and then we are going to watch the first interview that they did with the media, and then we are going to read the transcript from, hi Danny, the first police interview. Right, so I've done a bit of digging today. Exactly, child neglect, Kathy. It's messed up. There's a crow outside. AI, if you're listening, come here and look at this crow. It's been attacking the fledglings, eating them. So I've been putting stuff out for it, trying to distract it from the fledglings. Anyway, I'm getting distracted now. So we're going to watch that. But first of all, we're going to get an update. Now, they said they found something today. So I'm not going to be looking at chat, okay? So just totally forget I'm not going to be reading chat. So if you're talking to me, I'm not being rude. I just can't see what you're saying, all right? Let's just get the latest, first of all. What's this here? Do you know what else as well, before we go any further? You know the parents, right? I don't know how much you guys know about the parents. Do you know her brother's tipped to be an Olympic swimmer? The parents are, as you know, very, very well-to-do, okay? And I've been told, and I can't prove this, can't prove it, so it's only speculation, but I've been told that they were both very, very high up. I didn't, Carlos, I'm not literally not seeing chat. I've just glanced back at a sec. I'm not going to be reading chat for now. I do think that this German guy is a massive distraction as well. So the parents, I'm told, are really high up Freemasons. I don't want to get into this conspiracy stuff where we blame it on that and stuff like that, okay? But I have been told that they are. I've also, over the years, been watching a really, really good medium. And for the life of me, it will come back to me a name. But I've not seen her for a few years. She said that she believes that Madeleine, the dad, again, this is speculation. This is what I've read. I'm not saying this is my view, all right? This is not my view. I'm just reading. Hi, Lee. Hi, Maltese. Hi, Linda. Right, I'm going to go back to ignoring the chat again because I can't concentrate. Yeah, swingers. But I've heard that they're Freemasons, and what this lady was saying a few years back is that Maddie's, the dad wasn't the dad, Jerry wasn't the dad. This is what I've read. I'm not saying this. This is not from me. And that she was bred, that thing in her eye was a specific gene, a very, 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 very rare genetic disorder, and that it made her special. This is what this medium was saying. And basically that she was bred for something. Now, I don't know if that's true, right? It does sound a bit far-fetched. But that is what some of these mediums are saying, that they believe that she was purposely left out for someone. Now, if you remember a few years ago, they got into the old, excuse me, pizza and the GATE that we can't talk about. Do you remember all that with the Podesta brothers? People were saying that they were the ones that took her. You know, I don't know how much you guys looked into that at the time. I did look into it at the time, and I thought it was another massive distraction. Apparently one of them was in Portugal at that time. If you don't know who they are, get on your VPN and use DuckDuckGo and have a look into it. Right, my delivery's here. AI, let me just grab the delivery. Hold on. Right there, sorry. It's all right, sorted. Yeah, the Podesta brothers. Hi spirits. So I don't know how much you guys looked into that, but I felt that was another distraction, okay? But is it a case of it was them and they immediately realised that people worked it out and that's why they threw this German into the mix? I don't know. They are wrong-uns. Yeah, Podesta, Maxwell, Eggstein. They're involved in the pizza place that we can't talk about, because I do believe that a lot of that was the Q nonsense, and it was literally conspiracy for the sake of it. I'm still very, very skeptical about all that. I do think those sort of things do go on, but then the more they make up these elaborate hoaxes and the more people talk about them, it makes people look insane. Yeah, we couldn't make YouTube don't like us talking about them, Brum Vixen. So my advice is get onto DuckDuckGo, hi Peaky, Google pizza and then what Nikki says and those and Madeleine McCann and have a little look yourself. So this is the latest from today. So the Madeleine search. Now the German police who have this suspect that they think's involved, which has already been proven. Again, Sonia Polton's your woman for that he wasn't involved. The German police are doing searches in Portugal, and they think they're going to find her. Now, this Christian guy, it's by his former home, because apparently he was living in Portugal at that time, or staying in Portugal. Now, the neighbour recalls angry suspects rouse while police ramp up for missing girl. So the police are now using a JCB and ground penetrating radar near Praia de Luz in Portugal, close to where this Christian Brueckner's lived. We've got a little video here. So we're going to put this up. Hopefully we won't get a copyright thingy. Okay, I'm watching it under fair use.
Underway on the second day of an operation to find new evidence in the investigation into the disappearance of British
Sorry about that.
toddler Madeleine McCann. Yesterday, police began scouring an abandoned farmhouse and other derelict outbuildings in a remote stretch of scrubland a few miles from Praia de Luz, the resort where she vanished from 18 years ago. The Portuguese press reported this morning that police had not found anything significant in their searches yesterday. Today, those searches have been extended to yet more derelict structures spread across this same area that is near where their prime suspect, Christian Bruckner, is understood to have lived for a number of years before she disappeared. We've seen a digger from one derelict outbuilding this morning. Police with chainsaws and strimmers have been cutting back trees and brush at multiple searches across this large remote area. The press are all being held at a distance, but watching them work, it is hard to know whether they will be able to find any meaningful evidence at this point, 18 years after she disappeared. Reports had suggested that police could be bringing in ground-penetrating radar equipment, but the tools seen so far seem much more basic. The German police have not revealed what has prompted them to target these particular sites, but what we do know is that they are running out of time to find evidence linking their prime suspect, German national Christian Bruckner, to Maddie's disappearance.
So, as you can see there, that house was just derelict, wasn't it? It was completely and utterly derelict. So this is what they're doing. Now, the German police aren't saying why they're there or what they're doing, but they're saying that they're using ground-penetrating radar. But as that lady just said, the equipment looks very basic. So now, one of the neighbours has said that he was an angry young man and he was heard having rows with his girlfriend, a neighbour has recalled, as police scoured scrubland near the cottage where he lived. The British neighbour said she regularly said hello to the German who rented a rundown cottage in Atalaya near Praia de Luz around the time of the toddler's disappearance. Only later did she learn the full extent of the allegations against him. Now, this guy, again, we'd have to do a deep dive into him, but I've read that he is a convicted pedo, but I can't confirm that. So they're using ground penetrating radar and a GCB. He was in his late 20s at the time. I just think that this, to me, having rows, arguing with police, doesn't sound like somebody who would go looking to steal a child in a holiday area. I just think this is a massive distraction. I honestly believe that they were right in the first place. They were right because the parents from day one were suspects. Remember, the Portuguese police suspected they were involved, and they were immediately shut up. Now, watching Sonia Poulton years ago, I can remember her saying, because at the time, if you remember, Gordon Brown had just taken over from old Tony Blair, and he was immediately on the phone to the Portuguese police within a couple of hours, instructing them what to do, which apparently is unheard of when someone goes missing, for the Prime Minister to get right involved. I don't know how much you guys have watched of Sonia Poulton, but this was a few years ago. She was doing a podcast about this. Watch McCann's father, Jerry, describe the moment he realised his daughter was missing. I think what we're going to do, look at this. This is this e-fit that they've done of her. Let's not forget, she'd be 21 now, and I don't think she'd look anything like that. Just saying. They've literally taken her as a 3-year-old and just blown her up a little bit, you know, the same hair and everything. So what we're going to do, right, this is obviously, if anything comes in whilst we're live, this is all this, what we know, this is what's happening now, the state of that house. If anything comes in whilst we're live, I'll cut and we'll go straight to it, because this is happening right now. This search is still ongoing. We're on day 2 at the moment. This search is being carried out at the request of the German Federal Police as they look for evidence that could implicate this prime suspect. That was it. He was in prison for raping a 72-year-old woman. This doesn't sound like somebody who would take a little girl, in my opinion. Right. Unrelated sexual offences alleged to have taken place between 2000 and 2017. He has denied it. I think that they're just trying to pin it on someone who is a known sex offender who was around at that time. So anyway, we're going to leave that for one moment, because what I want to talk to you about is I've managed to find the first... Oh, hello. How you doing? Yeah, unfortunately, I have to... I put on a 10-minute subscriber only mode. I'll turn it down, actually. I'll turn it to less, okay? So we'll just do 1 minute, because I know this is probably quite an unpopular topic that people will want to comment on. Welcome in. Anyone that's new, welcome in. I really appreciate you guys. Hi, Communist Pingu. Good to see you, my friend. So... I've managed to find the first interview. We're going to listen to that now, and then I think this stream will probably revisit this. There's too much to get through to do in one go, but I do want to watch this. This was from the 25th of May. What I'm going to show you now, 2007. So Madeleine went missing on the 3rd of May. So this is like 3 weeks on. And this is what they're saying to police. You guys know me. I like to go back. I don't want to see what they're talking about now, because things get changed. Things get lost and moved and so on and so on. This is the OG interview. God, this was hard to find, but thank God somebody uploaded it a few years ago. And we're going to hear this now. And now we know, 18 years on, we know a lot more. And let's not forget as well, another thing that Sonia Poulton released was that she didn't go missing on the day that they said she did. They said she went missing on the Wednesday. it was proven that there's a photo of her that they say was taken on the tennis court on the Wednesday day. The tennis wasn't on that day. That was taken on the Tuesday. It's been proven that she went missing the day before they reported her. She didn't even go missing that day, because the photo that they said was taken on the Wednesday is impossible. I think what we'll do, we'll do a part 2, because obviously there's going to be stuff coming out in the news as well. They might find out, I don't know. You all right, George? What's the matter, sweetheart? So, oh, you know, scared the light. What's the matter? What's George seen? Oh my God, this woman walks past with her dog every day, and he's barking through the window at her now. Sorry, during barking. I'm distracted now from where I was. So I think we'll do a deeper dive on all of these points that I've mentioned tonight, on whether she was actually taken the day before. But tonight we're going to watch the very first interview that the parents did with the media, only 22 days after Maddie had gone missing.
Jerry and Kate, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. I'd like to begin by taking you back to the events of May the 3rd, on that evening. Tell us how you discovered that Madeleine had gone.
As I think people are aware, we were checking regularly on the children, and it was during one of my checks that I discovered she'd gone. I mean, I can't really go into any details about that, but I'm sure any parent will realise how that felt.
Did the panic set in immediately?
Yeah, pretty much.
This is a resort that offers childcare facilities, babysitting facilities. Why then were the 3 young children left alone in the apartment while you were having a meal?
I mean, I think if you know the location here, which you've seen, what we did, I think, and we've been reassured by the fact in the thousands of messages from people who've either done exactly the same or said they would have done the same. And for us, it really wasn't very much different to having dinner in your garden in the proximity of the location. I think it's fair to say that, you know, the guilt that we feel having not been there at that moment, irrespective of whether we had been in the other bedroom or not, will never leave us.
Do you blame yourselves regularly?
Certainly the first few days, I think the guilt was very difficult. But I think as time goes on, we feel stronger, and we felt very supported from that point of view.
Is there a lesson here, do you think, to other parents?
I think that's a very difficult thing to say, because if you look at it, and we try to rationalise things in our head, and ultimately what is done, and we do continually look forward, but we've tried to put it into some sort of perspective for ourselves. We're in a very safe resort. If you think about the millions and millions of British families who go to the Mediterranean.
So I just want to obviously stop it, because I want to break this down. So again, this is only 3 weeks on. Look how composed they are. Hold on a sec, I've got a delivery. Yeah, just... Sorry, another delivery's here. So they are really composed. The food there, oh man, are you deaf? It's coming around the side. Sorry about this, folks. Everything, this is what I mean. This is why streaming lately is virtually impossible, because there's always something happening, you know. Hopefully I'll get more room when we move, because we'll be moving soon, hopefully, and I'll have hopefully a bit more room to myself. Anyway, so you can see how composed they are. Now, their daughter has been missing for 3 weeks at this point, right? On holiday. You would be absolutely hysterical. I can't, do you know what? I can't even imagine what they must be feeling if these were just normal, innocent parents. you would be hysterical. You wouldn't be this composed. And if you remember at the time, right, at the time, now, I don't know how many of you remember this actually unfolding. The press was so different to what they are now because they got in trouble, if you remember. Yeah, they got in trouble. And I think they got sued. The Portuguese police got in trouble. The media got in trouble because they were questioning. They were asking the right questions. You can hear the interviewer right there saying, "Why did you leave your children?" I remember the press turning on them, and literally, they came down hard. The government came down hard. The parents came down hard. They were very, very powerful people. And ever since I think it was it the Mail on Sunday or somebody, something happened. And all of a sudden, what's the matter? Start with one. Sorry about that. See, I get distracted because Alice just spoke to me and now I've forgotten what I was saying. I hate this. I hate streaming when all this is going on. It's just my brain. So, I forgot what I was saying now. But the parents are acting way too relaxed. And they, looking back 18 years on, we can all see it. And that was it. The media at the time could see this. We all could. But I will never forget there was an event where I think it was the Mail, either the Sunday papers got in trouble, might be the News of the World, got in trouble for going there with the parents. And ever since that moment, and there was a court thing, that the media did a full 360, and are now constantly supporting the parents. They are not allowed to say anything wrong. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? And it all changed. But back then, when this happened, the media were questioning these parents. They were asking the right things. Why did you leave them? It's, you know, I'll never forget, like, look at her, right? What is with that neck? I have always stated that she does not look right. Yeah. There's something about her. Her nose doesn't look real, right? Her nose looks plastic. Her skin looks like it's stretched over a skull. I'm not being horrible. I'm just saying what I see. I'm not being nasty. I have always said that she doesn't look human. And you guys may agree or disagree, but just look at the size of her neck. That's a man. She's a very strange looking woman. Very strange. And they just look like bad actors. And if you remember, in 2007, I don't know if Twitter had even started then. I think it had, but just about. It wasn't like, you know, people weren't questioning them like they are now because social media hadn't really took off like it has. We were reliant on the media to ask these questions, and they were asking the right questions at first. But if this were now, the way that social media is, especially since Elon Musk took over Twitter and you can literally say whatever you want now, they will be destroyed. But at the time, the mainstream media, especially the newspapers, had a lot more sway, but they were silenced. But I find this interesting, how the questions were the right ones. And this just screams to me, these pair are not distraught at all. Because I would be hysterical on the floor screaming. I can't even imagine what you'd be going through.
Each year, really the chances of this happening are in the order of 100
Right, so
million
he's
to
just said that all these parents go on holiday. Let me just rewind it a little bit. These parents go on holiday each year. Look at her. Her head is the same width as her neck. That's not a normal face. I've always thought she looks like an alien or something. The nose isn't real. It's really weird, man. Really strange. Anyway, so he's saying now, so he's making excuses for it. He doesn't seem bothered about the fact that his daughter's still missing. He's making excuses for why she's missing. That's not normal. That is not normal. So let's listen now. So he's saying other parents do this all the time. What? No, your daughter's missing. And you're just there defending yourself.
And we felt very supported from that point of view.
Is there a lesson here, do you think, to other parents?
I think that's a very difficult thing to say, because if you look at it and we try to rationalise things in our head, and ultimately what is done, and we do continually look forward, but we've tried to put it into some sort of perspective for ourselves. We're in a very safe resort. If you think about the millions and millions of British families who go to the Mediterranean each year, really the chances of this happening are in the order of 100 million to 1.
I think at worst we were naive.
He's literally, these are not people that are grieving. She's now, they're just literally trying to defend their actions. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is defending why they left her. The first part of this is their first ever interview. You would be saying, whoever's got my daughter, bring her home. We are, you'd be using this time to appeal. You wouldn't be sat there saying, well, millions of people go on holiday every year and their kids aren't taken. And at worst, we are naive.
We're very responsible parents. We love our children very much. And I don't think
the eyeballs. Now, you guys know I've been looking at this stuff for quite a number of years now. Watch the eyeballs. Yeah? She's lying. We're very good parents. Watch the eyeballs. I've never seen this interview. Well, if I have, it's been so long I can't remember. I just found it today. Watch the eyeballs.
The order of 100 million to 1.
I think
100 million to 1. He's actually sat there and done the workings out. He's actually sat there and done the workings out of what the chances are. What the fuck?
Naive.
Watch your eyes.
We're very responsible parents. We love our children very much. And I don't think any parent could ever imagine or consider anything like this happening.
Were you aware of the big public debate that went on in the immediate aftermath, and were you hurt by that?
Yeah,
naturally.
No one hurts you as much as the hurt that we had. But, we've tried to remain very positive in our outlook. And even small levels of criticism make that hard when you're trying to do everything in your power to get your daughter back.
I know you've been very supportive of the Portuguese police investigation, but is there anything that you feel could have been done better, particularly in those crucial first 24 hours when Madeleine was missing, and perhaps it was treated as a simple missing child as opposed to an abduction?
I think, we are not looking at what has been...
I'm just reading the chat, folks, and I'm just going to highlight a few of your comments. Hello, Little Miss Sunshine. No emotion. Side glancing, says Furry. They're talking about her in the past tense. Again, this is only 22 days after she's gone missing. 22 days. Yeah, I've just missed the comment now, I can't get it on, but someone said if these were working class, I think we all said this at the time, didn't they? That if this were working class parents, they would have been arrested and locked away by now. I'm telling you now, whatever's gone on, these people know some really, really, really high people, and Gordon Brown at the time was immediately involved. But again, I think there's so much digging to do in this. We're going to have to do a separate one because it's like getting on now and I've got a lot to do. How long have I been on? I know I've not been on long, but I'm probably going to have to cut this off and come back on tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night I'll be back on. I'm free tomorrow. I'm out Friday, so Friday I might not be on, but I'll be back tomorrow, so we're going to do some more, but I will be doing some more tomorrow night as well on this. And then maybe in the meantime, we'll get more answers, because apparently they have found some evidence this afternoon and they're testing it. That's all we know. They're being very coy. But if you're just joining me, this is their very first interview, 22 days on after Maddie had disappeared. And look at these parents. Look how composed they are. They thought that they would have died down by now. They just milked it, and then they thought that there's no way that they knew that people would still have this much interest 18 years on, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. This is not stating as fact. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and this is mine. And if these got upset about the media questioning them, well then don't put yourself in the media then. If you're going to put yourself in the media, then the public are entitled to question you. That's just how it is.
Done. And
they think they're
it
untouchable.
helps
They're not.
at this stage to look back at what could and couldn't have been done. I think it's fair to say we expected a very British style response that you would expect if you were in a big metropolitan city. But you have to put it in context that we're in a tiny resort. But you know, that aside, the times for these lessons to be learned will be after the investigation is finished, and not now. You know, it's an ongoing investigation which has huge resources.
Did you hear that? After the investigation's finished, not when we find her. At no point here, hi Freaking, at no point here have I heard them say, "Will please let her go. Please let her go." Maddie, if you can hear this and you're lost and you've wandered off, again, it's 3 weeks. They're talking like it's been 10 years. This is what I'd imagine parents to be like 10 years on, right? Because 2017 was 10 years on. Calm, you know, realisation has kicked in, blah, blah, blah. These are people that they don't know where she is. And not once have they said, when we get her, we will find her. We will not give up. They're just talking about when the investigation's over. If you're out there and you're watching and you're a parent, what would you be like after 3 weeks? Because they'd have to sedate me. They would have to sedate me. Keep touching wood. I don't want this to ever happen to anybody, because I can't imagine. It's so distressing even thinking about it. But when this first happened, I wasn't a mum. I wasn't a mum till 2014. But this broke my heart. And I wasn't even a mum, but I'm a very loving person anyway. That's just me. And I felt the pain of how it must feel. But now I'm a mum, it's even worse. You know? I can't even imagine it. It's just, you just wouldn't be able to compose yourself. And even if you did compose yourself, you would use this as an appeal to get her back. It's like the Nicola Bulley case. Do you remember the husband? That was bizarre. This is why I question that as well. His first sit-down interview on Channel 5 was to talk about her in the past tense. She was still missing. You'd be appealing. Let her go. Or if she's got lost or something, come home. They just seem content that these people are dead and they're never coming back, you know? Anyway, let's continue with this.
And the British, they're working very, very closely with lots of expert help. And I know there's hundreds of pieces of information continuing to come forward. And I would strongly like to emphasise we would like anyone who's been in here in the 2 weeks leading up to the abduction to come forward if they have not already done so and upload their photographs, because we want Madeleine back and people can still influence that.
Looking back, I mean...
How long has it taken for him to say we want her back? 4 minutes, 29 seconds. And remember, they would have been talking before this. This is the actual taping of the interview. That's the first time he said, we want her back. It's just been about how wonderful parents they are. And at the very least, at the most, they were naive. You don't leave your kids, right? I don't give a shit if you're on the resort or not. The resort offered babysitting. I'm telling you now, that little girl did not go missing on the Wednesday night, right? And it's all been proven. Again, Sonia Poulton, I don't know if it's still up because I watched it years ago. She proved all this she used the photo. I'd have to try and find the stream that she did years ago about this. She says that that Madeleine went missing on the Tuesday and they never reported it straight away. That's why they were out that night. They didn't care about the twins. Now, many people have said they think that they sedated them so they wouldn't wake up. The doctors. Who knows? No one knows, right, whether that happened or not. But they say that Maddie went missing the day before and they just didn't report it. For whatever reason, whether they knew about it, whether it was an accident. Some people say that they accidentally killed her. I think if it was an accident, they wouldn't want this much attention on them with all the fundraising and the money. I think that's what makes me think if it was an accident, you'd want it buried under the carpet, keep your head down, not do stuff like this, not make funding websites and all this stuff, begging for money. If it was an accident, you'd just want to... They seem the type that would just want to get their head down and get away from it. This is just bizarre. The whole thing's bizarre. Now, I've actually got hold of today, I don't know how much we'll get through. I'm going to do some tonight and some tomorrow. The 48 questions that they refused to answer when interviewed by the police. So we'll start on that, and then I will be on tomorrow because I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I've been out yesterday and Monday. I've not been out today. I've just animal stuff. I've obviously got to walk dog and stuff. But I'll be on tomorrow night, all being well, you know. Again, if you're a channel member, please check out my members update on both. Thank you. On both. My thing in the fridge, please. On both channels. If you're a channel member and you haven't read the update, please check out that update and what's been going on. And if you're not a channel member and you want to know why I've been quiet, drop me an email or a message or whatever and I'll tell you. But I'm not going to broadcast it publicly. Right, let's continue.
The days leading up to her abduction, did you notice anything? Have you been racking your brains to try to think whether people might have been watching?
Right, boys.
I didn't.
If we did, we wouldn't tell you because it may be important information.
Are you listening to this? Have you been noticing if anyone was watching you planning the abduction? We didn't. I honestly, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Watch this again.
We want Madeleine back, and people can still influence that.
Looking back, I mean, did you see anything suspicious in the days leading up to her abduction? Did you notice anything? Have you been racking your brains to try to think whether people might have been watching?
We didn't.
If we did, we wouldn't tell you because it may be important information, but we didn't, you know. It was such a relaxing holiday, and in fact, as a family unit, up until that night, and with the friends we were here, certainly for us, it was as good a holiday as we have had with the children, up until that point.
You have to keep believing that Madeleine is still going to be found alive and well.
Absolutely, and we
do you ever, though, allow yourself to drift towards negative thoughts?
I think in the early days we did, and I think that's inevitable. I think any parent who's been through this.
In the early days, it's 3 weeks on. In the early days, we thought, oh, she might be dead, but now we don't. Come on. These people, man, they are the most weird people I've ever come across in my life. Yeah, Tamsin, spot on. Tamsin says they are talking like they've only lost some money. 3 weeks, yeah. I don't know what all this community thing is. I haven't got a community on this channel, have I? Because there's this new community thing you can do where people can like talk to each other. I haven't got that, so I don't know what all this is about. I ain't got a bloody clue. Hi, April. Yeah. Okay, let's carry on. Ugh.
Does that certainly in the first few days. We don't now. We're actually a lot stronger, a lot more hopeful now. And we have to be hopeful. It's what keeps us going and keeps us focused.
And what about Sean and Emily? What have you said to them about their big sister?
They're really good. I mean, they're at an age really where they're still quite young and...
Quite young? They were, what?
I guess...
quite young. She was 3. They were only 1. They're not quite young. They're babies. Right, apparently, I'm just looking on the news, the latest is they have recovered evidence today and they have drained a well. So it is looking like we might get some answers with this search. Just, yeah, interesting. That's the latest what I'm reading. It's breaking news. Right, exclusive. Christian, this is what they're saying. Friend of Madeleine McCann, accomplice, says the police are searching the wrong area. Hang on, this is just breaking news now, guys. Hold on. Friend of Madeleine McCann, accomplice. What? Doesn't make any sense. It's not proven that he was involved. How can he have an accomplice if it's not proven that he was involved? That says the police are searching the wrong area. We'll get onto that after this interview. There is another update. Obviously, the finder I will immediately cut off. Obviously,
I guess it hasn't had the same impact on them as if they were a little bit older.
Well, they're only 1. You know, they're babies. They're not still young. They're babies.
They do talk about Madeleine. They pick up things and say Madeleine's, you know. And that's fine, but they're really good.
I think that's, you know, something that
They're really good.
As many people have said to us, that this is a parent's worst nightmare, and it is. It truly is, and it's as bad as you can possibly imagine. But you know, if all 3 of the children had been taken, it could have been even worse than your worst nightmare. And we've got.
Did you guys hear that? Oh, it could have been worse. We could have lost all 3 of them. We've only lost 1. What the hell? Are you hearing this, folks? I'm telling you, I believe, and again, I'm going to say it, don't believe it was an accident. I believe that this medium might have been correct about these pair, that they knew, and she was given as some sort of ritualistic, I don't know, sold or so, I don't know, okay? It's horrible to think about. This is a child, right? And let's not forget that there's that girl that says it's her, and she was laughed at. She's in jail, I think, now for bothering the parents. But they've now done a DNA on her, and apparently she has got the same DNA as Maddie. So let's not forget all that as well. Now, if that is the truth, did they sell her to the black market? Because let's just say it turns out that girl is her. She doesn't remember anything from when she was little. They could have sold her. It doesn't bear thinking about. Again, as a parent, and you guys, I know a lot of you are parents, doesn't bear thinking about. Even if you're not a parent, if you've got any empathy in you, you'll feel the same way. Let's continue. But yeah, it's okay. We've got 2. Could have been worse. It's like saying, oh, I had 100 grand in my bank and the robbers got 30 grand. It could have been worse. They could have got the full 100 grand. That's what this is like.
Older. They do talk about Madeleine. They
I've rewound it slightly. Let's hear that bit again.
And that's fine, but they're really good.
I think that's, you know, something that, as many people have said to us, that this is a parent's worst nightmare, and it is. It truly is, and it's as bad as you can possibly imagine. But you know, if all 3 of the children had been taken, it could have been even worse than your worst nightmare. And we've got.
He's an actor. He's reciting his lines. Are you seeing it with his eyes? He's literally He's literally reciting his lines. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Lottie. There's something off about her, and I've said this from day one. Like, I know I weren't on YouTube back when this happened. YouTube then just started, but there's something off about her. How old was I when I was still 26? I would have been 27 in the July. I was only young. You know, in your 20s, you're not really paying much attention to the news and stuff. Saying that, though, I did, though. I read the paper every day at work. But I was quite invested in this straight away. Obviously I wasn't a mum then, but I was quite invested in this. I just felt off from day one, and both of them, but the mum even more so, because she's a mum. Now these people, these are the sort of people that have nannies. They're both doctors, they're rich, they have nannies. Why haven't they got a nanny with them? For a start, was a big owl just flew past. Why wouldn't they have a nanny? Because these are the sort of people that have au pairs and stuff, you know. They're rich doctors. They're probably hardly never even at home. And they have people with them. They have it. Where's the nanny? Where's the au pair? Why isn't nobody with the children? You don't leave your children. I've never been abroad. But if I went on holiday, my little boy, he's 10 now, and he could be 15, he wouldn't be out of my sight. I can't imagine leaving a 3-year-old and 2 1-year-olds. Accidents happen as well. Do they, Jane? They have sympathy. Well, look, if I'm offending anybody, then I apologise. But I'm just saying what I see. And this is what I'm seeing. So let's continue. This as well in the background, like, let's put a few posters up. Yeah. It looks like we're bothered. And we haven't even got into the money aspect, you know. So there's so much I want to talk about on this. It's going to be split across a couple of days, because the money is another issue. And if it was an accident, you wouldn't want to raise that much money. You'd want to keep your head down. They seem like complete psychopaths to me. Let's continue.
To be strong for them, you know, they're here. They do bring you back to earth, and we cannot, you know, grieve.
Blinking.
One, we did grieve, of course we grieve, but ultimately
we can't grieve. She's not dead. What? Did you hear what he's just said? Am I in an alternate universe? Say, when I first watched this, I was in my 20s. You know, I would have seen this interview, but wasn't this invested. And looking back at this now, who remembers this interview? I bet most of you don't. We did grieve, but why are you grieving? Why would you be grieving somebody, your child, who's just missing? Let's listen back to that bit.
children had been taken. It could have been even worse than your worst nightmare. And we've got to be strong for them. You know, they're here. They do bring you back to earth. And we cannot, you know, grieve. One, we did grieve, of course we grieved, but
you did grieve. He's just admitted it. Why aren't the police asking these questions? He's just admitted that she's dead. I did as well, Nikki. I followed it, but I don't remember this interview. Did you hear what he's just said? He's just said we did grieve. Why would you be grieving? He's just admitted that she's dead. Oh my God. Sorry, I need to hear that one more time.
But, you know, if all three of the children had been taken, it could have been even worse than your worst nightmare. And we've got to be strong for them. You know, they're here. They do bring you back to earth. And we cannot, you know, grieve. One, we did grieve, of course we grieve, but ultimately we need to be in control so that we can influence and help in any way possible. Not just Sean and Amelie, but the investigation.
And because of them, the day may come when you have to leave.
We did grieve, but we can't grieve properly. Why are you grieving? Your daughter's missing. Why would you be grieving? She's not dead. Apparently, you don't know she's dead. So why would you be grieving? There you go, folks. And I've always said this. Liars tell on themselves every time. They always tell on themselves. And he has just told on himself. Yeah, he wants to influence Nikki. Hi, Nikki, by the way, darling. Thanks for messaging me yesterday, sweetheart. You're really kind. Lovely friend. Hi, Furry. Thank you to our members as well. Hi, Alejandro. Talking of grief, This God knows what's going through this guy's head.
Leave here and go back to the UK. I know you've got no plans to do so at the moment, but how do you think you're going to feel if that day comes and you have to go to the airport and fly back?
I can't think about that, Ian, to be honest. I can't think about going home without Madeleine. So
You did though, didn't you?
I notice you've got Madeleine's cuddly toy with you as always. How did that start, and what comfort does it bring you?
where did it come from? Or
No, how did the idea come to just have it in your hands all the time?
Where did it
well,
come
it's something
from?
that Madeleine has with her every night. And if she's upset or not well, then she has Cuddle Cat. And so it provided me with a little bit of comfort. It's something of Madeleine close to me.
This
She
is
just said,
International
do you
Missing
mean where
Children's-
did it come from, as in the shop? Obviously he doesn't mean where did you buy it. Oh man. Yeah, exactly, Linda. You've got to have a good memory to be a good liar, and these people, they're not very good liars. But again, social media hadn't exploded the way it has in 2007. They wasn't under, the only scrutiny they were actually getting at the time was the media. And the media were asking the right questions, but they weren't going in as hard as, let's say, we would on social media. Do you know what I mean? So this was the best we had at the time. And then the media completely backed down anyway because they got told off.
Day. I mean, I guess Madeleine's had more publicity than just about every missing child in the world put together. I'm sure you're very grateful for that.
And let's
What
not
have you-
forget that little boy that went missing on holiday. We'll be revisiting that case as well. That Ben, his name was. He went missing before Madeleine, and he never got an ounce of this much publicity. There is also another Brit missing in, I think it's Costa del Brava. He's missing as well. So there's lots going on of people just going missing. But there's a brand new missing person story that I do want to do a separate stream on. This guy, young Brit, vanished again. Like, what is going on? When people tell me they're going on holiday to Tenerife or to Spain, I panic. I start to panic. Oh, thank you, Jane. Sorry, I didn't see that. Hang on, I need to get into it. Oh, it's gone off the screen. I can't click on it. Oh, but thank you, darling. That's really kind. Sorry, I didn't see it. I was, thank you. They'll never get any sympathy from me, says Jane F. The same. And do you know what? I've tried. Yeah, Ben Needham. Thank you, Kathy. I have tried to feel sympathy. I can't see any membership link. Membership link. Yeah, the memberships, I've left them on both because we know they don't last very long. Oh, hang on a minute. George needs the toilet. Just one sec. Right, George needs to go for his walk. Do you need your walkies? I was putting him off till 10. I need to take George for a walk. So, right, I'm hoping Al's watching. We'll do the end of this, and then we'll continue this tomorrow. Are you guys? I'll try and get on a bit earlier so we can spend longer on it. So we'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to carry on with this. Oh, thank you, Space Cat. 4 months. Right, let me just get into this and see. I think we've had this before where people struggled to, do you need the toilet? Yeah. I usually try and take him beforehand. Let me just see if I can find the membership link. What's this? Curious Bunny. Hang on. I've left it on both, folks, but I've just reduced the cost. It used to be $4.99. I've reduced it down to $2.99. You can have one, or you can have both, or you can have... That's not worked, has it? I don't know. I had to do it on my laptop. I think somebody gifted you one, Jane, or maybe you remember on Penny Bunny. Right, I'm going to have to take George in a sec. All right, Georgie, I promise you we're coming now, darling. I'm coming. Going to go for a poo-poo. Right, okay, we'll watch the rest of this and then I need to crack on. But we will be back on tomorrow, and I will try and come on earlier tomorrow as well. I'll do my best to get on for 8, maybe a bit earlier. And we'll go through those 48 questions that they refuse to answer. 48 out of 50. And let's not even get started on what she wrote in her book about her daughter's private parts. It's just sick. But again, if you're joining us, this is 3 weeks after Madeleine had gone missing, their first sit-down interview with a journalist.
Provoked such enormous public support, of which I don't think we've ever seen before.
I think there's a conglomeration of circumstances that have come together in this situation. The fact that we're on holiday, very safe resort, recognised for that. And of course, the world has changed in terms of information technology and the speed of response, you know, in terms of the media coming here and us being prepared to some extent use that to try and influence the campaign. But above all else, it's touched everyone. Everyone. You don't have to be a parent for this to have a major impact on you. And I think it's also been very, very important. And some of the things which we have done and said, which we didn't realise what impact they would have. But
all right, Georgie,
so many thousands of people are doing small things to help us find Madeleine. Because the worst feeling was helplessness. The absolute worst. That we had no bearing on finding her. But once you start to do that, then you start to feel a bit better. And I hope we're going to look back at the end of all this and say that we have done everything in our power, but also that other people are helping in so many other ways and they feel that they are part of it.
Does it worry you that people might start to lose interest as time goes on, the media coverage diminishes inevitably?
For me, we know that the media coverage is not going to last a long time.
Right,
it's lasted much longer and we have been much, much more successful in driving our message out than we could ever possibly have imagined. Personally, I think it's gone beyond that at the minute, and that there is a feeling with many, many people out there that they will not allow this to happen. And we know that, and we pray that it doesn't happen again, but when it does, the speed of the next response and the template we have set will alter it. And there has been so much goodwill and humanity out there that it really has restored, that one evil act actually has resulted in so much good.
Where do you go from here? There's talk of travelling around Europe. Have you got any firm plans as yet?
We haven't got any firm plans. We're likely to travel in a few places in Europe, but as yet, no definite plans.
But you've got no plans to go back to the UK for the foreseeable future?
No.
I think that everybody has just been incredibly impressed with you as a couple and how you've dealt with this. There was a period after a week or so where you looked as if you were almost broken, and who could not understand that? And then there seemed to be a sort of strength come from somewhere. Is that a fair point? Is that what happened and what brought that about?
I think that's definitely true, isn't it?
Certainly, you know, at the end of that first week, there was so much emotion that we had spent, and we actually had a period where we discussed this openly, that we felt completely devoid of emotion. And the analogy that I like to use is a bit like when we were students and you got to your overdraft limit and you'd gone beyond it and there was just nothing left in the tank.
I'm coming now.
I think physically and mentally were shattered. But, you know, as you gradually...
Guys, I'm going to have to go because George is going absolutely crazy at the door. I hoped he would have lasted a bit till about 10:30. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Right. I am going to have to go, but I will bring this back tomorrow. I've been trying to take him a bit later because otherwise he wants to go again about 11. So I've been pushing his poop back, his main walk. So I'm going to have to go because he's going nuts at the door, right? And it's cruel, you know. Oh, there you are. Can you get his harness on, please? Ready? So he knows that I'm, you know, if he knows that Daddy's doing something, he knows we're going. but mummy has to walk him. He won't let anybody else walk him. I'm sorry I've only done an hour of this. I promise you I will be back on tomorrow. I will finish this interview. I'll rewind it slightly because I've missed some of it because I was trying to get hold of Al. And we will go through. Oh, thank you, Flawed But Faithful Wendy. Is that your doggy? Is your doggy called Wendy? Welcome in. I really appreciate you coming in. I've got a channel dedicated to just animals as well called Penny Bunny. You're very welcome over there. We've got 2 puppies, bunnies, and I do all the wildlife and stuff. This is my deep dive channel where we cover different topics. But we will be back on tomorrow. I will try and get on for about 7:30 and then we can go through for a good 2.5 hours. Yeah, April's spot on, but we'll try and plan it better. I've got a puppy, and if he needs to go, he needs to go. So, and it's only me that walks him. Al walks Gizmo, I walk George. Oh, you're Wendy. Oh, Ruby. Well, look, welcome, Wendy. Just out of interest, quickly, where did you find us? But I will be back, guys. I will be back. I'll also see if I can find any more interviews that they did right at the beginning. That was the first one, but I will look for more. Oh, I won't. I've got them. I've literally, Rose, I found them today. I went on DuckDuckGo. Oh, I got a cat called Ruby. I was nearly called Ruby. No, was it Rose? Rose or Ruby. Yeah, either one. But they decided to call me Penny. There you go. Lozzaby. Oh! Lozzaby's been with us for years. Oh, were you his partner or her partner? Oh, I don't know. Lozzaby's a girl, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll be on tomorrow. I will try and look for some more interviews. I'm coming now, Georgie. Yeah, I promise you we'll watch the end of that interview tomorrow and we will get straight into them. And I told me she was here. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, she's been coming here for years. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Wendy and Lozzaby. So we're back on tomorrow. Thank you very much, Carlos. Appreciate that. And we'll be reading out all 48 of those questions. Why would you refuse to answer them? Don't go Googling them. Wait for tomorrow, folks, if you can, because we can read them all together. Yeah, I'm from UNN. I was there when they started. Please look up Richard D. Hall and his FBI. I've been watching Richard D. Hall for years. But I know he's gone a bit quiet because of what's going on. Right, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll get it set up when I get back from the walk so that we know what time and everything. And I will make sure that George has had an earlier walk so this doesn't happen. I'll do 2 walks tomorrow just for you guys. And I'll see you all very, very well. See you tomorrow. Good night. God bless. And thank you so much for joining me. Hit the like if you enjoy the content. It does help. What? Richard D. Hall's dead? No. He's not, is he? I had an email off him not long ago. Are you sure you're talking about the same person? I'll have to go and check that out. Okay, good night, guys. God bless. Wow. Was he bumped off? Wow. Wow. I need to Google this. Hold on. If that was a troll or anybody I didn't know, I would think you were trolling me, but I know you wouldn't do that. You can't find anything. Doesn't say he's dead. Send me a message, darling. You message me on Instagram, don't you? Send me a message. I can't find anything. Right, good night, guys. I will see you all tomorrow night. Take care. Good night. God bless. Bye.